Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In the past 3 years, I've listened to about 700 episodes of storytelling podcasts. Now, for me, these podcasts have been this incredible resource to understand what makes great stories, how to enhance them, but also just to feel connected, feel inspired. For this video, I went through the past 3 years and I picked the 5 storytelling podcasts that really stood out, the 5 that have inspired me the most, the 5 that have helped me the most improve my storytelling skills. Let's start with the first one, The Moth. The Moth is probably the most recognized story slam in the entire world. Every week they host live storytelling events where volunteers like you and like me can share their stories on stage. What the organization then does, they select some of the more inspiring stories and put them on their podcast, The Moth Radio Hour. What I love about The Moth is that the stories tend to be a little bit shorter, about 5 minutes long, but very high quality, very curated. Every word that they're using in there is very strategic. Next podcast, Risk. Risk is similar to The Moth in terms of they also host live storytelling events, but their stories are very different. Risk actually says about themselves that it is a place where people tell stories that they thought that they would never share in public. And that's right. The stories that you'll hear in Risk, they're very different. They're very raw. A lot of time about social taboos, topics like sex, traumatic events, body fluids, or anything very graphic. Now, I love The Risk, but I'm mindful it's not for everyone. For me, I actually listen to The Risk every time I'm in a car. The moment I get into a car, I'm immediately sleepy. But Risk is the one podcast that always keeps me awake, even for hour-long drives. Next podcast, Story Collider. Story Collider also hosts every year storytelling events, probably a little bit less than the other two. But the big difference is that the stories tend to be about science. The storytellers, they tend to be scientists. So people like doctors, researchers, engineers, scientists at the end. Sure, the stories may be hilarious, some may be very emotional, so very diverse, but at the end, it's all with that common theme around science. Next podcast, Story Corps. Story Corps, I'd say, is a little bit different to the other 3 that I just mentioned. Their mission is to record, preserve, and share the stories of all Americans across different backgrounds and beliefs. What they do is they record an interview between 2 people that know each other. One person asking a question, the other person responding with life experiences, with stories. By now, Story Corps has recorded, I think, more than 300,000 interviews. Incredible amount. What they do is they pick a few of these highlights from these interviews and put them on their podcast. So whatever you'll find on the podcast, these are the highlights from these 300,000 episodes. Now, it's a really cool resource. I'd say overall the quality is slightly, let's say, less polished than on the other podcasts, but overall it's a beautiful resource to just remind us of our shared humanity. And last podcast, Anecdotally Speaking. Anecdotally Speaking is this incredible podcast on business storytelling. Every week the hosts get together and share a short business story. They then discuss what they liked about this story, how it could be improved, but also give us listeners tips on where we could start using that story in our day-to-day. If you're looking for a great resource to build this pool of stories, this podcast is really for you. And what you should do is check out the episode. Find the stories that you like, save these stories, practice them, and then use them whenever you see fit in a business situation. That's it. These are the 5 storytelling podcasts that I absolutely love. Check them out for yourself and experience really the beauty of storytelling. Now, if you want to see more content like that and you want to have more nuggets on public speaking and storytelling, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. With that, thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.